Satan hates the book of Revelation. He hates it because no other book gives such an embarrassing, really an embarrassing account of his end, his consummation, not his ultimate consummation, because that's glorious, because Satan himself is saved by the cross of Christ. But I'm talking about his intermediate consummation. That's not so comfortable for him. It's quite embarrassing, and we're going to look into some of the embarrassment here on the show. And I'm thinking of apologizing ahead of time to Satan. Now listen, I don't take this lightly. Who was it that Michael, the archangel, even did not bring a railing accusation against Satan for the body of Moses? Remember that? Is Jude right about that? Yeah, maybe it's James. I don't know. One of those circumcision guys. So I'm not bringing railing accusations against Satan, but I don't fear him because God is in me. Greater is he who is in you than he who is in the world, and that would be Satan. You remember how George H.W. Bush used to purposely mispronounce Saddam Hussein? Saddam Hussein. Saddam. He used to call him Saddam. And he did it on purpose just to aggravate the guy. I should call Satan Satan. Yeah, just to aggravate. I don't want to aggravate him, really. I'll just say Satan. How's that? The adversary is what the word means. Satan is going to be annulled. His end is quite embarrassing. And really, Satan wants the book of the unveiling hush-hushed. He really hates it because it is so embarrassing for him. And I'm going to show you verses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 7 verses of how embarrassing this book is for Satan. So he does not want this book published. So he is actively trying to get this book mistranslated and what do you call it when you exposit? Misexpostulated upon. What else? What else is it when a bunch of eggheads get together and talk about the scripture? Exegesis, yeah. Mix-exegeticized. That's what Satan wants. But we're giving accurate information here, and he hates this. But I'm not afraid. Maybe I should be. But I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid because Jesus Christ is with me, and he's with you. So let's go boldly on. But I guess what is inspiring these thoughts here this morning at the beginning of the week is this warning, the curse at the end of the book of Revelation. I am testifying to everyone who is hearing the words of the prophecy of this scroll. If ever anyone may be appending to them, that is, adding to them, God will be appending to them or adding to him the calamities that have been written in this scroll. And if ever anyone should be eliminating from the words of this scroll. So you can't append it. Like, P.S., here's an appendix to the book of Revelation. I don't recommend it. And neither can you eliminate from the words of the scroll of this prophecy. God will be eliminating his part from the tree of life. 2 crimes you can commit. The reason we're looking at this again, we're looking at the opening and the end, because these are the first, as we're starting Revelation, these are the part of the structure. Remember, go back. So my opening programs, we're talking about the structure of the book of Revelation, and it has patterns. We have an opening benediction, a closing curse. Both contain the word swiftly. And then we have the prophecy section, which we're going to be getting into, and we have a prophetic section at the end. And then in between, we have the religious and the throne sections, and these also repeat. Religious, throne, religion, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, you don't want to eliminate, or God's going to eliminate you from the tree of life. And again, this is not anything we have to worry about. So this is for Israelites. And if you append to it, add to it, God's going to add to you the calamities which have been written about in this scroll. So you think that people would be careful when they're with the book of Revelation. No! Instead, they're having a heyday. They're tramping all over this book. They're taking what's literal and making it figurative. They're taking what's figurative and making it literal. And our friends, the preterists, people who say that this entire book is an allegory or a metaphor, Satan is delighted with them. I'll go so far as to say Satan is inspiring them, because Satan is embarrassed about this book. He hates the book of Revelation. Satan hates the book of Revelation. You remember the movie Steve Martin was in, The Jerk? He hates these cans. Remember, some guy picked his name randomly out of a phone book and started shooting at them, at Steve Martin, who worked at the gas station, and he shot the oil cans, and Steve Martin thought he hated the oil cans. He was trying to he hates these cans. Well, Satan hates the book of Revelation. We have no worries, okay? No worries. Philippians 4:6. Do not worry about anything. We have no worries, so stop worrying. If you are worrying, I'm assuming you're worrying. Maybe you're not. My mistake. Revelation 2:8-9. Revelation 2, starting with verse 8. And the messenger of the ecclesia in Smyrna write. Now, to the messenger. I'm going to talk about these messengers at the end of the week. I made a mistake earlier. I know. It's easy to admit when I make a mistake because it happens so infrequently. I made a mistake about these messengers. I'm going to correct that on Friday. So be here on Friday when I, Martin Zender, admit to my mistakes. Always glad to do it. To the messenger of the ecclesia of Smyrna write. Now this he is saying, who is the first and the last, who became dead and lives. I am aware of your acts and affliction and poverty, but you are rich, and the calumny of those saying that they are themselves Jews, but they are not, but are a synagogue of Satan. Ooh, those who say they're Jews, but are a synagogue of Satan. This is going to be a characteristic of the church at Smyrna, which is a future ecclesia, future synagogue. Going to talk about synagogues, I think, Thursday. They think they're the synagogue of God and Christ, but they're actually the synagogue of Satan. This is an expose of the adversary, because he does not want you to know that he is now disguised in ecclesiastical bodies, the synagogue of Satan. What a great play on words. The Pharisees thought that they were sons of Abraham. Jesus said, you're sons of Satan. So how is it that sons of Abraham can be posing as sons of Satan? And members of this synagogue are actually the synagogue of Satan. That is, they're believing the deceiver even while being in the synagogue, because the deceiver today is working in ecclesiastical bodies. As Dr. Bullinger famously said, Satan is not to be found in the professor's chairs or in the professor's chairs. What are Bullinger said? That they're not to be found. No, he said they are to be found there. Let me think about this. Let me channel Bullinger. Big guy, English accent, wore glasses. Hang on a second. Let me find my glasses. Where are my glasses? Anybody have my glasses? Okay, well. Satan is not to be found. Does he have an accent? Okay. Satan is not to be found in the bars, or in the pool halls, or in the dens, which men would most think would belong to iniquity. Rather, Satan is found in the professor's chair, in the teacher's classroom, in the pulpit. Yes, that is where Satan is found, and it's true. And Satan hates to be exposed like this, but it's happening right away in the book of the unveiling of Jesus Christ. Let's go to 2:12. Revelation 2, verse 12. Who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit is saying to the ecclesias. The one who is conquering may under no circumstances be injured by the second death. And to the messenger of the ecclesia in Pergamum, another ecclesia that's going to exist in the end times. Right, now this he is saying, who has a sharp two-edged blade. Where am I? 2:12-13. I am aware where you are dwelling, where the throne of Satan is, and you are holding my name, and do not disown my faith in the days in which Antipas, my faithful witness, was killed among you, where Satan is dwelling. Okay, the throne where Satan is, you're holding my name. People in that day, as in this day, they're holding God's name. These are good people. These are people he's commending. He's commending this ecclesia. They're holding to his name. They did not disown him in the midst of the throne of Satan. So the throne of Satan was not located way out here or way over there, but the throne of Satan was actually located in this place where the people were faithful. Faith in the end days, as well as today, is going to be found in wicked places, and it's going to be in spite of the fact. Because you remember, Elijah said, I'm the only guy left. Everybody else has torn down your altars. And what did Christ say to him? I have 9,000 who have not bowed the knee to Baal. And yet those who have not bowed the knee to Baal are in the realm of Baal. They're surviving in the midst of apostasy, just like we are. We're surviving in the midst of apostasy. Revelation 2, verse 24. Now to you am I saying, to the rest in Thyatira, the church in Thyatira, whoever has not this teaching, who do not know the deep things of Satan, as they are saying that I will be casting on you no other burden. The deep things of Satan, that's the phrase I'm looking for, the deep things of Satan. The things of Satan are deep. They're hidden. They're not lying on the surface. That's why any surface depiction of Satan with a pointy tail or horns is a wrong, false depiction of Satan. There are those in the synagogue of Satan. That's the true appraisal of it, but the outward appraisal of it is a beautiful synagogue. And the deep things of Satan are under the surface. That's why Satan is disguised now as a messenger of light. The deep things of Satan. Love this amazing sentence, this amazing phrase in Revelation 2:24. The deep things of Satan. Wow. Revelation 3, verses 7 and 9. Revelation 3:7. And to the messenger of the ecclesia in Philadelphia. This is not Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. This is Philadelphia in Turkey. Write this. Now this is saying the true, the Holy One, who has the key of David, and who is opening, and no one should be locking, and locking, and no one shall be opening. I am aware of your acts. Lo, behold, you have... Before you have I granted an open door, which no one is able to lock. For you have little power, and you keep my word, and you do not disown my name. Lo, I have granted to those of the synagogue of Satan, who are saying they themselves are Jews, but are not, are lying. So the synagogue of Satan has to do with lying. It has to do with those who say one thing and are another thing. And in this context, these people are saying they're Jews, but they're not. Just like the Israelites of Jesus' day, saying sons of Abraham, but in fact sons of the devil. Jews, saying they are Jews, but actually of the synagogue of Satan. The same thing. And it's going to be the mainstream. It's going to be the overall deception. And so we need to be aware of this in the unveiling, and let me apply it to you today. You need to be aware of it today, because today we're in a similar circumstance. You've heard me say it over and over again. The chief characteristic of this era is deception, deceit. Things are the opposite of what they appear. If it appears good, it's probably evil. If it appears evil, it's probably good. Many think that our teaching, my teaching of God being the Savior of all and God being the sovereign and of Revelation being literal, they call that evil teaching. Well, it's in actuality good teaching. And what they call good, they're wonderful churches, they're wonderful, wonderful buildings. In this case, the synagogues that will exist. It looks good, but it's evil, and it's the worst kind of evil. So beware of religious hypocrisy. We're going to continue to expose Satan's consummation, because they really haven't gotten to it yet. This is just his characteristics as he's running amok during the days of Israel's extremity. But we're going to see that his time is short, and he knows it. It's embarrassing that we know it, and he would like to stop this, but he's not going to.